Welcome to session 7, and now things are going to start getting really interesting and really exciting as we start to really ramp up the conversion of these kind of leads that have been coming through into calls and appointments, etc., etc. First of all, new hairstyle as we move into a new aspect of what we're going to be doing. No one on the group noticed. I'm very sad to say that. So no one even comment on it. Maybe it's because I look like a Westlife boy band. I don't know. Thank you, Dawn, with a thumbs up. So yes, me and my new Westlife haircut. Tell me why I'm nothing but a mistake. Tell me why. I'm just letting people in here as they're coming through. And for those of you who recognize that that song I just sung wasn't Westlife, it was Backstreet Boys. Shame on you. But yes, well done for knowing that. Yes, somebody knew that, didn't they? I think we have some 90s boy band fans in the audience. Awesome, guys. Right. So where we're going to get to now is you now have everything that you need to be able to start the process and go quite far down the process of your lead generation using the captivating one-liner methodology. So if you've got any practice people that you don't want, clear them out now and start the real deal. Start getting to the right people in the right audience, the right target market, and start getting your captivating one-liner out there. It's really important. And now, as we move into the next phase of what we're going to be chatting about, it's going to be very much around diligence. So there's this whole misnomer about sales that says sales has to be done by people who are out there, go-getters, charismatic, specific personality types. That is not true. The great sales trainers of the world will tell you that the best salespeople are those that are diligent. Diligence is everything. And what we try to do here is we try to make everything for you as simple and streamlined as possible so that you guys can follow the diligent process and methodology. And you guys will hopefully now have this an hour booked every week in your diary, at least, to go through this process, listening to me chirp away, learning a few things, but working your sales pipeline. So I want you guys to really start inviting high quality people and getting them down into your app. Get them into that next step, check your acceptances, send the acceptance message, get your one-liner out there, move them into your high quality contacts tab, and then start trying to get great conversations using the methodology I showed you about professional insight. Where we're going to start to go to over the coming weeks now is how to convert those. This is where diligence is everything. Diligence, diligence, diligence. And it's not that difficult. You don't have to be out there and you don't have to be like fearful that you're trying to sell something. I'm pretty sure by now you guys know that's not our methodology. It's soft, it's gentle, it's all about you, it's your personal value, etc., etc. So where we can start now is start getting your invitations going. I really want to see you guys starting to move the pipeline. And now we're just going to start to really start ramping up and getting you some advanced stuff going. Okay. Now to a couple of things we need to get through to today. And the first thing I'm going to show you as I share my screen is how to make sure that you are being diligent. All right. So as you guys know, you should be so familiar with the app by now. Under your target and sales funnel, you should now have people in your high quality connections. If you don't, get them there. There's no reason. Get your invitations out there. Check acceptances. Send your acceptance message with a tracking link that I showed you how to do. Check whether or not they've clicked on your tracking link in a number of ways. First of all, check them that they will have a tag. Some of them will say tag. There, clicked on referral flattery article. There's an example. Okay, so it'll automatically generate a tag if they've clicked on it. But an even easier way is to check your notifications. Under notifications here, under MMT leads, which is my most trusted leads, you'll be able to see. And if you remember, I showed you this last week when I showed you that Cherie clicked on my tracking link 7 days ago, and you can allocate from here, etc. This is really interesting, guys, because I'm going to show you the mobile app just now as well. And I don't want to go into too much detail about the mobile app, but with the mobile app, it will notify you in real time as to exactly what's going on. So let me just quickly talk about that in a second and go off gallery view. All right. So the mobile app is going to notify you in real time. Now, I hate showing mobile apps because it's so difficult with this, but you can see it there, the My Most Trusted mobile app. Okay. And once you click on it, it'll actually take you onto a mirror image pretty much of the Chrome extension. And you can see all those icons on there. And it's exactly like the Chrome extension. This is so useful, guys, because it will notify you in real time that a lead has come in and that they're currently literally on your reading your article or on your website or clicked on your link in real time. So the mobile app is easy to install. All you do is you just go onto the My Most Trusted website where you install the Chrome extension, right? So you just go to mymosttrusted.net, the same page that you installed the Chrome extension, and you'll just scroll down a little bit. Here it is. This is the button to download the Chrome extension. It says then install the app on your mobile phone here. This will automatically take you to the Chrome, the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on whether you're Apple or iPhone. Install the app. Once you've installed the app, the mobile app, if you go under Target and Sales Funnel, Settings, My Mobile, you will see that you will actually just use the QR code and you just show the app the QR code when you open the app and it'll automatically synchronize everything and it's all connected. It's so useful, guys, because once that you have got people in your high quality connections or any of these tabs, you will be able to manage them from your mobile phone. So you'll be able to go onto their LinkedIn profile on your mobile phone if you have the LinkedIn app installed. So I recommend having 2 mobile apps installed on your phone. Number 1, the My Most Trusted mobile app from here. And number 2, the LinkedIn mobile app. Now you can literally work your sales funnel using a combination of our technique on My Most Trusted with the LinkedIn mobile app. It's so easy, guys, and you can literally use it. So you don't have to be in front of your desktop to make this work. This is where things are going to start getting really, really exciting now, because my job to get you guys results is to get you guys as diligent as possible, just following the process. And I'm going to go into more detail on the process as we go along. But by now, the process is simple. Invite people, send them acceptance message, and get them into your high quality connections. For those of you who are really struggling to get content out there, use your support group. Ask for help. There's other great ways of doing videos that we can help you with. That if you need assistance, but you've got to have some kind of content on the back end of your captivating one-liner. If your captivating one-liner is great, people are going to click on it, and they're going to appear under your notifications and notify you on the Chrome app. All right. So under notifications, you also see Maya. I'm going to do a whole section on Maya later. That's for the more advanced technical people out there, and that's for full service clients. But for now, your My Most Trusted Leads is where the magic happens. So you'll be able to see those notifications as they come in under your notifications. We're also soon going to be making the notifications appear on your desktop as they come in. So you could be working, a little notification appears. Oh, look, the CEO of this company is currently reading your article or is on your website. Bang. You reach out to them using the professional insight message technique that I showed you before. All right. A few other things I just want to remind you of: how to be diligent. All right. So let's pick somebody as an example. Let's go to Cherie. Okay. There's Cherie. She's a first degree connection. I'm going to add her using the plus button. Okay. There we go. There's Cherie now. Now you can see her tags have appeared, et cetera, et cetera. So I've obviously worked with her before as a demo. So the thing is, now you've got a bunch of these, and I've never really taken you through these in huge detail, but now it's time, because this is where you do your diligence. I think most of you guys should know what this means. First of all, this obviously takes them straight to the LinkedIn profile. So if you want to see Cherie's full LinkedIn profile, you click on this button. Now, in some cases, I don't think I have an example here, but in some cases, it won't happen very often. That's all I've got in here. This LinkedIn profile will turn pink. When it does that, it means there's no email address currently in the system. And the data isn't enriched. In other words, we don't have the email address in the actual tool. If you click on it, it will try and get you that data. So if it's pink and you click on it, it'll actually go and fish for that data and try and update that email address for you. So if it's pink and you click on it, then the good news is that you can update and enrich the data that you already have, because you won't have the email address. You can see what data you've got by clicking on the contact details. So I can see I've got Cherie's email address. I don't have a phone number, but I've got a whole bunch of other data on her in my system. About 1 in 3 to 1 in 5 people will have phone numbers. And this is going to get really, really important down the line, because if a phone number is there, you can start looking at potentially phoning them. And we'll get to that as we start to really talk about sales and how you can start to ramp up your sales using the tool from a conversion perspective. So in the meantime, so that's the view LinkedIn profile. And as I said, if it's pink, you click on it and it'll try to enrich that data for you. It won't always work, but it's worth a try. Then you have your 2 up and down arrows, and this allows you to move between tabs. I'm pretty sure you guys know how this works by now. If I want to take somebody from great conversations and I want to move her up to high quality connections, I can move the up arrow, or I can move her to ready on board if I want to. So I can literally move them between tabs using the arrows. The $sign, right? This is where you can create your own tags. Once again, I think I've been through this, but I just really want you guys to know how the tracking capabilities work. If you want to add a tag, for example, I want to create a tag. Where's a good one? Proposal sent. There's a good one. It'll create a tag for you. If there's nothing in the drop down, when you click on it, you can create your own one. Proposal sent. And then you can click on the blue and it'll create a blue tag like that. So you can create your own tags and you can search for those tags within the tab as well. You've also got your notes, and I can make notes. Awesome chat. For example, I can put a date in there if I want to, whatever, but this is just a place that you can keep notes. So you can keep your tags and you can create your notes, et cetera, et cetera. So this is once again, just giving you guys the tools at your fingertips to be able to really organize your leads better, because diligence, diligence, diligence. That's what's going to get your sales. And just follow the process, guys. And you just keep following it and you just keep doing it and watch the results. I want to tell you guys something very interesting. True story. Last night, Cherie, who's actually our MD, she's not a classic salesperson, but she does some lead generation in the background. We had an amazing conversation with a company last night with the 2 business owners. It took her several weeks to get that meeting, but all she did was just follow the process. She's not a classic salesperson. She's not proactive in the way that a normal salesperson would be. She's just been messaging someone. She found a really good company she wanted to deal with and sent them several LinkedIn messages. 2 different people. And I'm going to talk to you about clustering, where you actually don't just get one LinkedIn contact for one in an organization. They were both co-owners of the company. So don't just focus on one owner of the company or co-owner. Try find other directors as well. We call it clustering, and you create a cluster of people around that. I'm going to do a whole thing just on clustering in the future. A little advanced technique for you guys. But she was talking to 2 different people and got them both on a call last night. But it took several LinkedIn messages to get them. People are not going to beg you for your product or service, guys. You've got to be diligent. 19 out of 20 are not going to beg you. You have to be proactive, but you're soft and you're gentle in your approach. And that's how we believe. So you never have to spam them with a product or service or offer. Right. So going back to this. So this is the $sign, which I showed you, and this allows you to create your tags, et cetera, et cetera. By now, you should know how to do your custom messages. I'm going to teach you about handover messages in the future and how they work. But for now, you've got custom messages that you can send. So you can create your custom messages in your settings in the same way that you created your invitation message and your acceptance message. You can create a custom message. All right. And you can create tracking tags in there as well. So there we go. There's your custom message. For now, your handover message can just be a custom message for now, if you like. Just use it as another custom message template. So going back to the icons, that's how you send a message. Push to CRM, I'm not going to get into now. That's obviously more advanced. The final one I want to show you guys is a set reminder. Set reminder, I can set a reminder that I must follow up Cherie in a week's time. Okay, I'm going to follow up Thursday. Save. It's now created the reminder, and there she is. She's now in the reminders tab. Okay, so all your reminders can now be set within your reminders tab. And all of this functionality that I've shown you, except for sending messages, right? The automated messages or the quick message templates, everything I've shown you so far is available on the mobile app as well. So once these guys are in your high quality connections, just use the mobile app to track them and get your reminders and get everything from your mobile app. You use the desktop version to get them into the system. You use the mobile app for your diligence. and a combination of your desktop app. So I'm really hoping you guys are like, wow, this is going to become really easy for me. And as we get more and more down the line, I can show you some more and more advanced features. So hopefully you're going to see your diligence. And then obviously you got the remove from the database there. So you can remove them. So you see what's happening, guys. This is how you can track everything. You've now got everything in place, your diligence. You can now start to do your follow-ups. How often should you do your follow-ups? When are they going to occur? I'm going to get onto that next. I'm going to get onto that in a few minutes. But next week is when I'm really going to talk about sales and the sales conversion process. How do you convert those individuals into customers? I'm going to touch on that a little bit today as well. All right. So mobile app. Install the mobile app. And as you can see there, they will pop up, and there you've got all the same list of, hope you can see that, all the same list of icons at the bottom. So you can set your reminders. You can say your reminders are done. You can make notes. You can do set tags. You can do all of that stuff from the mobile app. So your mobile app is where all your high quality connections sit. Now, your high quality connections are the only people you should be spending time on. If they're not high quality, don't spend time with them. Never put crap into the app. That's our golden rule. Never put crap into the app. You've got to work with high quality people. So don't spend hours and hours and hours on stuff on LinkedIn trying to get them, because I've already semi-automated that for you in the app. You just go click, invite, that part should be like in your brain. Just go spend 5 or 10 minutes in this 1 hour a week that you're spending. The rest of the time is you nurturing high quality people. And it can take several goes before you start to get a conversation with them. Let's start introducing you to this process. What's your goal? To go to either deals in progress or ready to onboard. Sometimes I call this deals in progress. You want your deals in progress. You want deals. But before you get there, you've got to have a great conversation with someone. To get to a great conversation, they've got to be high quality, because you're not dealing with anybody else unless they are high quality. All right, you've got to see, and you can look at their LinkedIn profile and you can see what they can do. All right, I think you guys get that now. But the $1 million question is, how do you get them onto that phone call? Before you get them onto that phone call, you've got to have a great conversation with them. And to get a great conversation, you start closing this gap using the methodology that I showed you before on the cheat sheet, the professional insight message. All right. Now, on the madge3.com website, as you will see under resources, you'll see this diagram, the famous me diagram, the trapped in the gap, how to get this. This is what you're looking for, right? How to convert LinkedIn connections into calls and meetings. So your goal is to get them out of this gap. 19 out of 20 deals are sitting in this gap. If you don't go and fetch them and save them from this gap, they are not going to phone you. This is the greatest misnomer of sales in the history of sales. People think they can throw a whole lot of adverts out there and mysteriously people will just flock to you. It doesn't work that way. If you've got a huge budget and a big inbound marketing team, or you're using obviously the high-end, really good inbound marketing and lead generation services and companies, then they can do that. That's expensive and time consuming, and it can theoretically be done. However, for most businesses, this is the way to do it. You reach out one-on-one connection with your LinkedIn prospects and you grow them one by one, assuming they're high quality, and you get them out of this gap. You know who they are because they're in your sales pipeline. If you were not using this tool and you had thousands of LinkedIn connections, you have absolutely no idea who's in this gap. But because you've been following the process with a captivating one-liner, they potentially clicked on it. If they haven't clicked on it yet, you've sent your professional insight message, you've encouraged them to click, and you're starting to get traction. What you end up with is this really cool situation where you know who those 19 people are. And your goal is to get them out of the gap. Now, I'm not going to go into huge amounts of detail on this because I'm going to go into advanced stuff next week, but I'm going to take you through this step by step just very quickly as an overview. So here we go. This little 5-minute video will summarize what I'm going to go through now and start to go through more detail. And next week, we're going to do some advanced conversion stuff. But there's 4 steps. All right. There are 4 steps to go through. Here's the problem. These 4 steps change depending on your business. So you need to tweak them for your own business. And you also need to tweak them based on how people are responding. And once again, I'm going to go into more detail next week. But as a rough guide, here they are. You can watch this video again and it'll show you some of this information. But step one, you send them a LinkedIn direct message. What direct message, you might be asking? You already learned that. The professional insight message, which is on the LinkedIn cheat sheet, which is here again for you, which takes you to the old lesson I showed you. This is really, really beautiful. This shows you some cool stuff. All right. So here's your cheat sheet and all these examples that I showed you before on that professional insight message. We use this all the time, guys. It's so powerful. But now the question people ask is, well, what if they don't respond after my first message? Well, first of all, if you're really sad and tearful, put on a Westlife song and then you'll feel better or more tearful, depending on who you are. So play some Westlife music, and within 2 or 3 Westlife songs, you should have solved that problem. All right. Here's why. Because step one, right, your first LinkedIn direct message isn't going to be enough. So you need to move into step 2. Wait about a week. A week is fine. If you've waited 2 weeks, that's also fine. Doesn't matter. If they don't respond, send a follow-up email. Where do you get your email address from? You might ask. By now you should know this. It's under here. It's in the contact details tab, sitting for you. Also on their contact info of their first degree. It's right here. So you'll have their email address. Send them an email. But what do I send them? You might be asking. The answer is you've already pretty much written it because you already wrote a professional insight message in step 1. All you do is you take that professional insight message that you wrote in step 1 and you tweak it and shift it a little bit in your email. It's really, really important that you tell them when you email them where you got their details from. I messaged you on LinkedIn, or you and I are LinkedIn connections. But that's a good way. Don't just email them and say, hi, because they're going to think you're spamming them. Tell them, we're connected on LinkedIn. I tried to message you. You didn't respond, blah, 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 blah. But if you recall, I wrote this article. But then you copy and paste. Now, this is advanced stuff that I don't put in this particular article. But I'm telling you now, what you add to this, okay, is what you add to this message that sends your first email is what you wrote before. You've already looked at their LinkedIn profile. You've checked her out. You've created something nice. You've come up with a professional insight statement. It's really quick and easy. You just basically duplicate that and you send it via email instead. Okay, so that's how you write your email. That should take you way less than, in fact, 3 Westlife songs, you should be able to send 4 or 5, 6, 7, even 8 emails within 2 or 3 Westlife songs. That's how quick and easy it is to send the emails. Make sure you got your email stationery at the bottom. Make sure it looks professional. It comes from you. Send out your email, create a little tag. You've sent the email and make a little note if you want to. Done. All you got to do then is set a reminder for the next follow-up a week or 2 later. And there's your pipeline management, guys. It's so easy. So now you've sent them a LinkedIn message and you've sent them an email. Now, in some cases, right, if you look at the message icon, you can see whether or not they've actually read that message or not, because they're little, let me open this up a little bit. Either I have completely lost the plot here or it's not showing message read anymore. That's interesting. Normally you'll see a little face here when a person has read that message and you can tell whether they've actually read that message. You might have to go into the actual message, the actual messages tab of LinkedIn to see whether they've read it or not. Normally you can tell whether they've read that message. And if they have, then you know they're reading your messages on LinkedIn, but they're just not replying. But the important thing, guys, is if they don't respond to your message, don't cry. Like, really, it's fine. It's going to happen all the time. Send them another LinkedIn message, a second LinkedIn message, if you feel it's appropriate, if they're checking them. But people don't get around to checking their LinkedIn messages. So that's why you might want to switch to email. So this is up to you. So you guys need to kind of decide, are you going to use email or are you going to use LinkedIn direct message? As you start to learn to use Maya, the really advanced features, you can actually tell whether or not somebody's active on email or LinkedIn and which is the best method to use them. So that's following up an email. Right. Then we talk about sending a LinkedIn voice message if they're still not replying to that email. The important thing is that you don't send up a follow-up that says, did you receive my message? So if they're not responding, don't say, did you receive it? Question mark. Because as soon as you ask a question, you're on the back foot. Don't do that. All your follow-up messages that you guys write, and I'll get into more detail next week, are the same proactively written, strong, bold statements that show professional insight. Once again, next week I'm going to go into more detail, but this is what you got to do. None of the message you should send out to people pre-conversation. In other words, until they respond, you're just going to hit them with strong, powerful, provocative, good statements that are personalized to them. And eventually they will start to respond, guys. They will get a conversation going. That meeting we had last night, 6 or 7 messages it took. You've got to be willing and able to put the diligence in. You've got to just keep going and going and going. Welcome to the world of sales, but it's gentle. It's provocative and it's bold, but it's gentle in the way that it's not sales. Hope this is really coming together for you guys, right? Because a lot of people really struggle with converting these guys that they have, all these wonderful people in their database. How do you get them into this great conversations? And how do you get them out of great conversations into an actual phone call? And again, next week is a big week to go into that. But this is another tool in your arsenal. Now you can potentially send them a LinkedIn voice message. This is going to be a whole episode just on itself, and how to send and when to send LinkedIn voice messages, how to structure them and how to script them. The good news is I have an article also here that you guys, it's actually not an article, it's a video. There's a whole video that I did in Bali that you can watch specifically around LinkedIn voice messaging. What I am going to do though in these sessions is I'm going to bring it home to this particular methodology. All right, so that's your LinkedIn voice message. If people are still not responding to LinkedIn voice messages now, and you've sent them a couple of LinkedIn messages and the emails, then you need to potentially look at getting on the phone. And this is where people freak out. And in fact, sometimes I'm actually going to bring in a professional phone call expert who's actually going to do a session just on how to phone people, because it's not a cold call, guys. They know who you are already. And they're probably going to feel bad that they didn't respond. So we're going to put a script together for you that when you pick up the phone, you're going to actually feel comfortable, that you're not going to feel spammy or intrusive. And we're just going to be as gentle as possible. But at the end of the day, guys, you need to decide, do you want sales or not? And often when you pick up the phone and phone them, your life will change. But the goal behind this process is to gently warm them up. During this process, however, people will start responding. And they will start getting a great conversation, and they'll be put into the great conversations tab, and you'll be messaging each other back and forth. Then we need to talk about how to get those guys onto a phone call or onto a meeting. And that will also be part of the process that we're going to be teaching. The most important thing, guys, is you follow and you customize this 4-step process specifically for you. And more important than anything, I'm begging you, just do the process. Be diligent. Just put it into your diary and follow up every week or 2. Even if you've got too many to do, because you might have 40 or 50, 60 high quality people you're nurturing, then follow them up every 2 weeks. Doesn't matter. But you've got to do your follow-ups. And all you're doing in those follow-ups is you're just making these bold, provocative statements, and you're getting better and better at it. And you're just giving them really good professional insight. And you're just upping the ante. So it goes from LinkedIn message to email to LinkedIn voice message to potential phone call. And there's some other tricks we'll give you around there. But if you're not diligent, this is going to die. It's not going to work for you. You've got the people that you desperately want to do business with. They are sitting in your pipeline. You've invited them. They've accepted. They've potentially may or may not have clicked on your article or your video or your captivating one-liner. You've moved them through. You could also, great question last week, I think it was Asfar that asked that question. He said, can you send other tracking links to white papers or other content that you have? Absolutely, you can. Definitely create a tracking link, put them into your custom messages, send those out, but do it in a non-salesy way. Tell them, give them a professional piece of insight, and then say, check it, this article that proves what I'm saying. Maybe it's one that you wrote, or check out this video, or look what Gartner says, or look what Forrester Research says, or look at this white paper that this company or this research, whatever. Check out this video that this expert in the industry said. Don't be shy to use other people's content, because you can see whether they've clicked on it. And if they've clicked on it, you've got them again, another bite at the cherry. And I'm going to finish off with really hammering this home, guys. All you are doing is you are reaching out to high quality people, diligently and regularly using the simple tools that you have in your arsenal, email, LinkedIn message, LinkedIn voice message, all that kind of stuff. All you're doing is you're sending them a professional insight message of a couple of sentences, possibly with a tracking link over and above that, which links them to something that backs up that professional statement. And next week, I'm also going to show you some other cool little tricks that you can use, like sneaky preview, copy a page from their website and paste it into one of their messages, and actually comment on a page of their website saying, hey, I was on your website on this page and I noticed da, 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 da. They love that. People love it because you're taking an interest in them. And that's what matters. You're taking a personal interest in them. And why are you spending so much time on them? Because they're worth it. They're the clients you want to get in front of. They are your high quality people in your sales pipeline. Think about this logically, guys. If you've got 30 or 40, 50 high quality connections in your pipeline, you have to convert those into phone calls at some point. You have to convert them into sales. There's no other option. And it's so soft and so gentle. You're sitting with the right quality people. If you don't, then you've got a problem with your product or service, or you have a sales issue and we need to deal with that. That's a business issue. But for the most part, I think you guys are pretty good at your product or service. You know that people will buy it. You've got your pricing right, potentially. I'm making that assumption for now. We can discuss that if it's a problem down the line. But you see where we're getting at with this? When you're in the comfy chair, sitting across from the client, talking about their problems, the problem that you identified in your captivating one-liner, the problem and pain that you identified in your messaging, you're listening to them, not preaching about your product or service. You're forming a really good bond and relationship with somebody that doesn't see you as a salesperson, but as an expert, trusted advisor. That is the holy grail of sales. And that soft, gentle approach to find that holy grail is precisely what we're coming to now. Next week, we're going to go into this in even more detail. If you've got any questions, email me, pop me a message. Obviously, now we're going to stay on for the Q&A for those people who are already here. I'm hoping this is really starting to sink in, guys. It's really exciting. You've got the community starting to grow now. You're starting to create your conversation circles. You're using each other as a sounding board. Help each other, guys. Lean on each other. Do it. Use the community that we're building. But above all, be ready to be diligent. Use the tools that are in front of you. Do your follow-ups. Focus on high quality leads. Get that discipline, guys, because if you do it, it's going to make a huge difference to your business. See you next time.